What's up, everybody? Welcome back here for Majorfest week, and we got a very special guest with us here for the first time ever. Very excited about this. Magic Olmos from Jazwares Toys, the man behind some of the magic, pun intended, with those AEW Unrivaled action figures that we've, the three of us have just fallen. Whoa,
there he is.
That we've fallen in love with, man. Great to have you on.
Oh, thank you guys for having me so much. Happy Majorfest. It's gonna be awesome.
It's been a week-long event, and you are the Friday, the main event. Majorfest. The actual Majorfest show is the main event. But you're the semi-main, baby.
Oh, that's good. Man.
We've been just in love with these figures, and to have you on it's great. The fans, they're loving these figures. Everybody's loving these figures. The whole industry is loving these figures. So thank you for everything that you do. Let's just get all the butt kissing out of the way.
We can let that go for a while.
So tell us about yourself. Tell us about your background. How did you get into this crazy world of toy making?
I love toys. I love action figures. Like, it's one of the only things in my whole life I really, really love. But it's been like that my entire life. I grew up watching WWF, collected WWF figures, have an entire shed at my parents' house just full of figures still that I won't let them throw away. Love Ninja Turtles. Grew up like loving that. And literally, I think when I was in middle school sometime, I just had a Ninja Turtle toy in my hand, and I just like thought like someone made this thing, like someone sculpted this, like this is like a piece of art that someone worked on and brought to life. And it kind of clicked in my head, like, oh, this is a job, like someone can do this. And ever since then, I've been kind of gearing my life towards that. So in high school, I took a ton of art classes, ceramics, 3D sculpting. Then went to Otis College of Art and Design, which is literally the best way to get into the toy industry. If anyone wants to know out there, go to Otis College of Art and Design.
Wow, okay.
There's a whole toy major. It's awesome.
So really? I never knew that.
And then like 5 minutes from Mattel. So like if you do want to go there, like you have instant connections, and it's really good. Cool. Yeah.
Wow.
So we got to pull back the curtain a little bit here. We actually met you first when you were working for the other guy.
Yeah.
For Mattel.
Definitely.
Do you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Mattel's awesome. I honestly never dreamed I would be working there when I got the chance to do there. First, I started on some preschool toys and different kindergarten stuff, and I wasn't really working out too well. I was actually kind of depressed for some reason at that point in my life, but when I got the note that I was going to be switching over to WWE, my entire world just like flipped, and I like reignited like so much love for wrestling that I totally had lost, and I got so deep into it. I just love it now. Like it's kind of really been my whole life since then.
Did you have anything in particular you remember that you worked on from your Mattel days?
So I did basics. I worked on 89 through 100, but I didn't really develop 100. I kind of just did the line plan with like Steve.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
And we call you now the one-man outsiders because you jump ship.
We thought you were going to wear a jean jacket, jeans,
like Scott Hall.
I used to wear jean jackets constantly.
Looking great.
Cut those sleeves off, baby.
That would have really fit.
So off air, Mark was asking me an interesting question. I'm like, don't ask me, ask Magic.
Okay, let me ask.
Oh, why so awkward, man?
You're over here. So now you are with Jazwares, obviously, and you're tasked to start this brand new line. And it's like, I guess when you're working in basics and there's parameters already, you sort of have these set designs that you have to make. But now you have to make an action figure out of nothing, out of scratch. So I would love to know like some of the things that you were thinking about in the creation of a brand new wrestling figure line, like maybe the things you definitely wanted to have and the things you definitely didn't want to have and things like that.
I mean, I learned literally so much about wrestling figures in particular, working with WWE, obviously. Yeah. So I kind of picked up on what the consumer kind of wanted, what people use the action figures for, how people collected them, what made kind of fun figures, and what really worked. I kind of got a lot of inside knowledge from Bill. Everybody over there was super helpful. So when I came to Jazwares and I was able to start something from new, I was looking really like how to improve it, how to like take things to the next step. Because the WWE line has been around for like 10 years. So like they set a really high standard. So what I wanted to do was kind of incorporate all the best stuff that I was seeing on the market currently. So like for McFarlane, NECA, all like the best aspects of those, like articulation wise, quality wise, just paint detail. I wanted to kind of form it into like an ultimate like wrestling figure for $20 and try to get something that is posable, it's playable, people can take photographs of it, display it, and do all the things people do collecting these figures. And really just try to take it to the next level.
While we're on this topic, I actually wanted to ask you anyway. I mean, I love, like, I'm looking at my playroom right now. My stuff, I'm very particular about how I display stuff, and I want to make sure it's posed to the best of its abilities. Broski likes the toy soldier thing. I don't know why.
Because I have so many. That, like maybe the front row is posed, but everyone else is just they're just lined up. They're like in the package.
What my favorite thing about the Jazwares, not favorite, but one of the things that's really fascinated me is there's like almost like a click technology that I've never had in a wrestling figure. So like when I'm posing, it's like click, 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 and I know like just where I'm at to get certain things like pretty perfect. Is there any information behind that you can share with us?
Yeah, so these are called ratchet joints. So when you move them, they have like little lines on the inside of each joint.
Yeah, you can feel it like when you're moving it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing, just going towards posability and like able to keep a pose. Like I know figure photography is huge, so I wanted that to be a really huge play factor with these things.
I saw some figure photography this week on Instagram, a person using the Jazwares toys, and I was like, damn, this is really cool. And one of them was MJF. So like I messaged it to him, and he's cold as ice, and he wrote, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, and he's hard to get a compliment kind of, complimentary word out of. So that says something to their ability to do that.
I don't know if you know this, Magic, but I don't collect current figures. I don't collect current wrestlers, current superstars. I don't collect my friends. I only do old school guys. That's my rule. So if like an Undertaker comes out and it's a 2020 Undertaker, I don't get it. If it comes out in 2020 depicts 91, I get it. But I broke all my rules for these AEW figures. I got them all. I got them all because I had to. This is the first time in so long. Not only do we have a new wrestling company, but a new figure company making these figures. I had to support it. I had to see what it's all about. And I'm all in, baby. I'm getting all these figures. I got Series 3 now. And I love it. And like I post about it and people say, those aren't your rules. You're breaking your rules. These aren't. I'm like, the figures are just too cool. And now, for instance, I said, okay, I'm only going to get Series 1. And then like Series 2 came out, I'll get Series 2. Then Series 3, I got to check out that Orange Cassidy, see how those shorts work, or the pants work,
Yeah.
So like you guys, you're getting me hooked to keep buying. And that's, I think, the best part, because if you're getting me to buy something I'm saying I'm not going to buy, you're definitely going to get a casual fan walking down the aisle who's watching the product, but might not like toys. But then when they see these, oh, damn, I got to scratch that figure itch, get some AEW figures.
Oh, man, that's a huge compliment. Thanks so much. I'm glad you're breaking those rules.
What has the feedback been for you guys with the chase figures and stuff? Which is, for me, like as a fan, is so fun, but it's so mind-blowing to me that like this is right out of Jeremy Padawer's playbook. He's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
But in the era that he was doing it, it was just very casual. Like this is like there's like hysteria over these now. And nothing's changed. It's just wrestling figures are that much more popular. And to still align, like, that we've used all week, this Majorfest week, we're in this golden age where all these, companies are making professional wrestling figures that are all in scale with each other, and it's super fun. And I think these chase figures are like the cream of the crop, basically. Yeah.
Open.
I gotta get eyes on that.
Yeah, opened. Yeah, it's pretty rare to find this one opened.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's found this one yet, but
no one's found Series 3 chases as of this interview's recording.
Oh, there. And I'm glad you have that jacket in your hand, because I have a question for you. Now, we know some of the Mattel Elites, if they have that hard goods, like rubber jacket, they're stiff. You can't do anything. But that Darby Allin, I open it up, you can kind of move the limbs a little bit. It's easy to take off. Like, what is there
it's so soft,
term for that rubber? Like, it's a great rubber, because it's still, you get the detail, but you can easily get it off without breaking the arms off. It's great.
Yeah, so this is a PVC material. And so it comes in different diameters, just meaning different hardnesses and different strengths. So this is a much softer PVC than previous lines, or different like jackets usually.
Is that more expensive?
I don't think so. I think it's around the same cost, but it's probably less used because it's maybe could maybe tears. Maybe there's different safety standards, or not safety standards, quality standards. But we were able to meet them, and then meet all of Jazwares' high standards with this one, and pull off something pretty spectacular. So I was pretty proud that we got some movability with these.
Yeah,
and like you said,
go ahead. Yeah, sorry. Whether you're playing with these as a kid or doing the figure photography, you want the jacket to come off quick. You don't want to have to and pull.
I almost broke my Rich Swann Elite the other day trying to get the jacket off. I was like,
oh man,
terrified of it. It's so stiff.
And then when we all saw the photos of this Orange Cassidy, I will say, I admit, I thought, oh no, the legs aren't gonna move. Jazwares messed up. Magic, what is he thinking? Then I got it, and I was blown away with the mobility, the amount of movement that this guy can do. He can do everything. It's great.
Oh, man.
Before you answer this question, can you take us from like day one, like you guys meet? I don't know if it was pandemic or not. Zoom call. Okay, we have to make this action figure. The guy's hands have to go in his pockets. Like, just take us through the whole thing here. How? Like, what's the creative process?
I definitely had to think about it a lot. We definitely like brainstorm different ways you can do it. Try to figure out like maybe his jeans just pop up and you just pull off the crotch piece and his hands are like set in stone forever and you can't move them. And then you pop it on. I definitely wanted to take an approach where the aesthetics weren't going to be hindered too much. The articulation wasn't going to change. And that we were still able to get the hands in the pockets in and out. Like, I didn't like the idea of them just being stuck in there and you have to change out the hands and flip them out. And I didn't particularly like the other ones pulling it off because I feel like that would have made it kind of like a horror show, kind of like you don't pull things off people.
Right.
Anyway, so I kind of looked at like McFarlane, how they were handling their crotch pieces where it's like a diaper, it's like a rubber thing.
Yeah, we know. And we're familiar with the term. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like getting tons of articulation and movement. And I would always take them off and see the inside was just a bare bones, like armature, and the articulation was really small in there. And I figured like you could probably fit a hand into there if you did it right. So that was kind of the plan, just to always keep a hand inside of a smaller armature and then be able to take it in and out.
So it was your idea. Great job.
Yeah.
So it's basically like that diaper style, but just big, right? A diaper pair of jorts that looks like jeans that makes it seamless.
Yeah,
it's really impressive, man. When I had that figure out, I was like, this is like one of the most innovative wrestling figures in years and years and years. Yeah.
I mean, I got to hand it. I'd say Jeremy really mandated that, so like we had to do it. Like there was no way.
I think we talked about this recently in the show. Like it's so essential to who he is as a character. How do you have his action figure not do that?
Totally.
You know? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, even glasses too. Well, actually, Brian asked the question, but then we never actually got to talk about it. The chase thing. You guys are really enjoying. Are you enjoying creating the extra like deco or different deco per figure? You know, that kind of thing. Like, what do you guys think about it? Was Brian's question.
I like it because we get more variety out quicker. So like we get a different shot at Darby Allin like immediately. It's something that he probably would never do again. He did this once with the champion written all over him. Maybe he did it twice. Not sure. But like it's way to get exclusives out there, like of smaller events, like really niche that probably wouldn't work in a mass offering.
So that's the strategy is to make it more of those niche events.
Yeah,
because Moxley's like the one night that he fakely joined the inner circle. So yeah,
exactly.
I was impressed that like the parameters are going beyond like you're not just repainting what's in the set. Like MJF is coming with that ring handpiece, so that's completely different. Or Moxley has those champagne bottles. Like it was impressive in that sense because that's not what you usually expect in that space, I guess.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, those were pretty fun. I loved getting the ring in there because like it's like a fist. You could like just pop someone in the face with it.
Awesome.
And and Jeremy, back in the day with Jax, like he brought the collectibleness, if that's even a word, of wrestling figures to a whole new level that it hadn't seen in a long, long time. And I think that's what's happening again with these figures because the secondary market is through the roof. And I personally love it. I don't buy things to flip them. I don't buy things because, my figures are worth money. But I love that there is some value to these chases. You get this chase and it's got, it's got a nice price tag on it. And if you want to flip it, you can. But if not, you have it. It's almost like a little security. It's great. I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Jeremy's like collectibles expert, so like he definitely knows what he's doing with all these things. And
let's pivot to that. What's it like getting to know Jeremy and work under him at Jazwares?
Oh, it's been incredible. Like getting work with him closely as I had before has just been like a huge like learning opportunity every single day. Like he's a wealth of knowledge. He's funny. He's fun to be around. He has a ton of good stories. His whole story, how he came up, like I heard you guys' podcast, he would tell like in person, just hearing that is like incredible.
Wild. Yeah.
Really smart man. Like loved working with him, loved being a part of his team.
That's great.
Yeah, we knew the line was in great hands when Jeremy had it, and then when we knew you were working on him. But we were talking about this the other day. You debuted these figures at Toy Fair last year. Less than 12 months later, we have 3 sets out. I mean, like you guys are banging these out, which is
on
awesome.
top of exclusives and accessories and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only coming out hotter and more off the line as time comes. We're going to put more and more waves out. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm
That's
excited.
awesome. Yeah. What's been your favorite thing? Maybe the thing you're most proud of out of these first 3 waves plus the exclusives. What's your favorite thing?
Like just favorite figure, or
yeah, like or favorite project or piece of a figure. I don't know, whatever you liked the most out of all these things that have come out so far.
I mean, there's been so much cool stuff that we've done so far that I've been like bucket list stuff. Like for instance, Pentagon. I'd seen him wrestle at PCW and on the indie scene for so many years. Like to be able to make his figure.
Unreal figure.
Yeah, I thought when I was working at Mattel, like, oh, we'll make him a WWE one day when he gets there 10 years from now or something.
Yeah.
But then 2 years later, like he's in AEW and I'm getting to work on it. I'm like, oh, like this came so much quicker. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And then just to be able to do like the first time alliance for a lot of these guys, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, all these guys that never really had like true figures like this, like mass market offerings. It's just been a dream. Like, and then getting to see the reactions to showing them and how they loved them and how much they like appreciated the work we put into them. It's just been really awesome and rewarding.
How about how hands-on have you been dealing with? One of the things that I'm really digging so far is the ringside collectibles exclusives. A little bit of the bubbly was just like a mind-blowing packaging experience. And then Blood Brothers, the packaging and the actual figures just actually blew me away. Can you tell us about working on those or what you know about those?
Yeah, I mean, getting to do Blood, that was awesome.
Oh, so cool, man.
Yeah, I loved it. But the packaging team is just outstanding here. The Jazwares packaging team we have. The bit of the bubbly just really blew me away. Like I would see it like in the planning phase. I'm like, yeah, it looks cool. It's bubble. Like it's fitting everything we talked about. And then I saw it in person. I'm like, wow, like this has a presence. It's shiny. It looks so premium. I loved it. Like it elevated the figure so much. I just can't shout those guys out more. Kevin Tolley, Chris Metzger, Steve Dijak. These guys are all killing it. They're out in PA, so we don't get to work close together.
Oh, really?
But we've been teammates for a long time now.
Yeah, like breaking my rules again. I'm a big let them breathe guy. I open everything, but when I got that little bit of the bubble, I'm like, this is so nice. I need to buy another one to keep in the package. Then I'm like, oh, well, I kind of count this as Series 1. I need to go get Series 1 again in package. Yeah. So it's just so. And let's talk about the packaging for a minute. I love that. Series 1, 2, 3. It's all uniform. It all looks nice. I hope you never change it. Don't confirm it.
Please die on that hill. If somebody says let's change the packaging in this year, because no, please let's not.
To me, it reminds me of like a classic Superstars or Hasbro or an LJN, something that from beginning to end is the same. And if it's going to change, don't spoil it. Don't break my heart here. But I think so far that it's awesome because like I don't want to know like if I'm just looking at, I don't want to say, oh, this is Series 1, 2, like. If I see the little 1, 2, or 3, fine. But I want to look at them and they're all in one family. And that's why I love these so much.
Yeah, the packaging is outstanding. Like, again, those guys just really killed it, like every single aspect of it. And I do love that they're numbered. And we're taking like a lot of pains to go through and get all the event details and get all the like dates correct on them. So like we could number them like this is from this date. So if you wanted to see what
the photos on the back are always true to the event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How married are you to the idea of having the figure be super correct for, I don't know, like the event that you're trying to portray? Are you okay with changing some certain details or?
Definitely want to keep it event specific. I think that's kind of been the MO with this line, but just keeping it as authentic as possible.
Hey, you were under the Makina learning tree. You know about the mashup. You know about the magic mashup.
But I mean, I like honestly, authenticity is so key with all of these. I think you guys know, like collectors are rabid. Like they'll notice the smallest detail and make a whole post about it, and then try to bury it.
Hey, we got the best guy in the biz on our payroll, man. You mess up, he's gonna grab it.
Deep Freedom 30.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Tell us about the what I love about the interchangeable hands you guys have. First of all, let's discuss this. Everybody's body parts can just pop off. Was this like by design or like an accidental thing? Or tell us about that because I think personally it's awesome. But what was that about?
Definitely, like an idea was to be able to swap the body. So like eventually down the line, you could take one torso and put them on someone else's. If he didn't have certain pants, you could have them different times. Right. But popping off like that, like this, when you do it, that's kind of a happy accident, honestly. I could take credit for it, but like this is just a really happy accident. So now if you have this Cody, you could switch body parts and make them a different Cody from a different event.
Right.
And once we found that out, I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Line, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So it's the waist, the head, and the wrists on every figure.
Yeah. So the head pops off and the hands pop off. That we did plan to make all of those interchangeable, so they're all uniform. You can take them off, take the hands off one guy, put them somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that worked. Yeah.
Awesome.
And speaking of hands, I love that you guys do interchangeable hands, but not for the sake of doing interchangeable hands. I don't have Ziplocs full of hands for no reason. All of your hands make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brian, you're laughing, but you know exactly what I'm saying.
I have the same Ziploc, and it's like my wife saw it the other day and was like, "What on earth is that?"
So all of the hands that we get, they make sense.
Yeah.
So thank you. Please, I don't need a million. I don't need a tote full of hands. All right. So stick with what you're doing, guys. It's great.
Yeah, I would see a lot of Instagram posts of like, whose hands are these? And like people just like, can you tell me who these hands are? I have no idea where they go to. So I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have to do that in our Patreon group a lot.
So what makes you decide, okay, obviously if someone has like a signature pose or something like that, or if they have a weapon to hold. So I guess it's really not that complicated to figure out, all right, who gets a secondary hand or something. But what about the heads? We saw with the pack, he has the other head. What made you decide, okay, we got to do the hair in the front?
That was just a really cool expression. You'd always see him with like his hair coming out like this and he just looks crazy. And like you see a lot of photos like that. So I kind of tend to look at different photos and how he represents himself and to see how he might like portray himself to people, how they might think of him in their head. Like, oh yeah, this is him. He does this. So that was a big part of it. And also just looked pretty cool. So, I mean, can't get around that.
Is there limitations to how long that kind of plastic can be? That's the rumor we heard.
There might be. I don't think there was in this particular case. I saw you guys talk about the hair.
Yeah.
But
I will say this. I was before I had it in hand, I was like, oh no, this head doesn't look good. No. But I've done a complete 180 because in hand, when you're looking at because these figures are art, right? So looking at them in the package on some like blurry photo, even if it's a clear photo, unless you have it in your hand and you open it up and you're looking at it, all 360, and then you see from the different angles and you can see like the underbuzz or whatever, the undercut. Me personally, the hair in front, I hated it before. Now that's the head that's on my pack figure.
Yeah,
Broski's whatever petitioned for this so much that I switched mine in my case. He's got the hair now, so so there you go.
I love that head personally. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, was there any thought to making that the main one in the package?
I don't really handle the pack outs, so the packaging.
Oh, really?
I let them do their thing. Like I don't want to tell them how to do it. They're pretty good.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Oh man, then my other question was about Orange Cassidy having like the plastic over his face and the glasses. For that?
So that one, that's a little weird because the glasses will rub off onto his nose if you left it in there. So it was like an issue of like if we pack him out with the sunglasses on, it's like it's not going to sell it if it's off to the side as much. It's like he needs to have them on. So they put that plastic cover up.
So you're saying like 20 years from now, someone gets a mid-on card Orange Cassidy, it's going to be protected, and maybe if it wasn't, it would be kind of jacked up if you opened it, right?
Yeah, if it wasn't for sure, like it would have
similar to like old school Jacks guys bleeding their soft goods right onto. Okay.
Yeah,
smart.
But I think the first wave of it has it like covering most of his face, but we've minimized it so it's only going to be a strip across the eye.
Running change.
Running change.
Thank God, I'm gonna let him breathe, guy. I'm gonna let him breathe. Oh man, that was
concerned about that, but yeah. Cool.
So if I could pivot real quick to what you have behind you, I like to ask other designers, like what are you collecting maybe outside of the wrestling world?
I collect a lot of stuff. I mean, you can kind of tell me, zoom up. I got stuff from all over. Oh, wow. So I got like a bunch of Gundams. I got some 6-scale figures that I'm really new to the 6-scale game. Like I barely started collecting those. McFarlane's, NECA's. I got all the turtles, all those NECA turtles, some Marvel Legends, some Star Wars toys. Nice. I'm pretty all over the place. I'm trying to like minimize smaller purchases right now and just kind of lean towards bigger things that have like more of a statement to them. Mm-hmm. Just because I'm running out of space. I have so much stuff. Like it's just piling up now, all these smaller figures. My favorite though, I'm mirrored in this. I'm trying to, but it's hard to see. Dang it.
What is that?
Here we go.
I think he's trying to show his Zack Ryder Mattel.
Yeah, right.
I wish. Yeah. So I got a Fight Club. I got Tyler Durden right there.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool.
My girlfriend and parents bought that for Christmas, and I was blown away.
Is that McFarlane or NECA?
It's Blitzway. It's a 6-scale
Ooh.
figure. It came
They
out
make
like
some
4
awesome
years ago.
Ghostbuster ones.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
I'm like,
real sweet.
and I love the NECA 1/4 scale. Like those 1/4 scale figures are awesome.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
I want to backtrack for a little bit. You talked about like, you holding that Turtles figure when you were younger. Did you make like any custom figures
Ooh,
like
good
growing up? Were you ever a customizer back in the day?
I wasn't. I didn't do that. I left my toys like perfect. I took care of them. I didn't want to like screw them up. And I would like go into the aisles when I was buying toys and like look at every single one and compare different versions. Like, okay, this one's eyes are better than this one, but this has a scratch on his chest. So I was really meticulous and like kind of didn't want to ruin them by me messing them up. It wasn't until college where I started doing like toys like that.
Right. That's interesting. You would think someone who's ends up creating them would make some customs, but hey, you're not even making customs. You're making the real deal.
Right.
So that's way better than making customs.
What have been your guys' restrictions with COVID and stuff, and the way you guys have to kind of get these things, discussed and out, and how's that all been for Jazwares?
It's definitely been a challenge. Like I think with everybody, like just the logistics of everything, we can't travel, we can't go to China and see the things productions ourselves. We all rely on video conferences and photos. But honestly, even with everything, I think we did a really good job, and I'm like super proud of how we handled everything. And like we've had some challenges and setbacks, but we've been able to overcome and improve things and get things more, get a better flow and get things more fluid. And yeah, it's been difficult.
Yeah, I can only imagine because you're not there, interacting every day, bouncing ideas off each other. Yeah.
So these were originally just a Walmart thing, Ringside Collectibles, and now they're coming to Target as well. So these things are gonna, they're gonna be more plentiful. So I can only hope we're gonna get more sets more often. So because we need more figures for our AEW Fig Feds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Jeremy announced on Twitter that we're gonna try to shoot for a wave a month.
That's wild. I mean, that's
which I kind of just thought he was BSing, but if you guys can do that, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, our team's growing. We're getting more people on. We're gonna definitely step it up to meet that demand.
Cool. So what are you guys doing to pump up for 2021 here? Things are already kind of in place. You guys are.
Yeah, things are in place. Things are moving pretty quick. We have like a lot of waves already set out the future.
What I love so far is that we have, of course, we have a couple of Jerichos, a couple of Codys, but we have some guys, like we said, first time ever. Like 2 years ago, didn't have a wrestling contract. Guys like MJF, now has their first figure, and you guys are just banging these guys out, and you're really, doing them justice. If my first figure was, if I'm MJF and that's my first figure, holy shit, am I happy?
Well, he's a spoiled brat, so that's par for the course, my friend. That's pretty awesome, though. Yeah, I was, I trained MJF, so to see that was just so, man, it was like on another level for me. How important that figure was to me. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that figure. Love seeing his response to it too. Like he was pretty mean, but he was also super sweet about it. So it was awesome.
Right. Well, if you got $20, I'll sign it for you. So
yeah.
But back to the chases real quick. I know we're all over the place, but I personally, I have the chases already. I was able to get them already, but I'm still hunting them because I'm a psycho and I love the thrill of the hunt. If I hear like that my local Walmart has these figures that they're coming in, I gotta go and I gotta see, because that's what I love about this is that like you're bringing that thrill of the hunt back. I feel like we haven't had that for so long because with great companies like Ringside Collectibles, you can just order things online these days. You don't have to deal with the BS of the gas, especially now in the COVID era. So you don't have to leave the house. But if you want those chases, you gotta get out in the trenches.
Yeah, you gotta pound the pavement for those.
And I love that. I miss it. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had that in such a long time. And even the Jax days when we had the chases, after a while, it just got repetitive with those same goddamn title belts. These are brand new figures, new deco, not some crappy repaint. You give them new heads sometimes, new accessories. To me, this is a true it's a chase. You're really racing people to the shelves. And it's just so much fun again to collect. And like Brian said, this is a time where there's so many different wrestling companies, so many different wrestling figure companies. At the end of the day, if you're playing with your figures, they're all in the same universe. If you're displaying them, they're all in the same universe, same scale, almost the same articulation. It's just a great time to be a wrestling fan and a wrestling figure fan. I mean, even Attitude Era. You think Attitude Era, the best time in wrestling history, right? Like you had ECW, WCW, WWE. The figures were all over the place. You couldn't display them next to each other. You couldn't play with them. Now you can play. Oh man, it's just so cool. And I hope people, can just take a step back and realize the era that we're living in.
Definitely.
Was that ever part of your strategy? Did you guys ever think did you ever have a conversation that maybe you shouldn't make it the same size as Mattel, or was it always no, obviously it needs to be sort of uniformed?
Yeah, I think that was the early decision. We had to do it the same scale so they could fit in this, because we knew how much crossbreeding there was between even Marvel figures and different things.
Of course, yeah.
It's all over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Such a great decision, man. Really, unbelievable. Sure. Game changer.
Well, I mean, we really appreciate you joining Majorfest. I mean, the AEW figures, like I said, I'm not going to get any of these. I have them all. I have Series 1 twice. I have Loose. I have in the ring.
I have quite the collection.
I got that damn UK Cody ring. Tell us about that Cody ring, that UK Cody ring. Where'd that come from? Oh, let's just make a UK Cody ring.
Yeah. What is this? 1990 Galoop? What's going on here?
But that's the kind of stuff that I love. It makes it harder, but in a fun way.
For sure.
You just walk into any store in America and buy whatever you wanted. That's not fun. You know what I'm saying? If you want to just walk in any store and buy whatever you wanted, collect gum, collect Big Red. You know what I'm saying? This is fun. This is real in the heart. And people, they get on they hate me for it, but I love it. I love walking into a toy aisle, finding nothing and being depressed and being angry and being pissed, because the flip side is when you find it, especially
to this day, I've never been able to find a single AEW Jazwares figure on the shelves, not a single one. And I'm actively looking pretty hard. I mean, obviously the belt and the ring I found, but
yeah, they go in and out quick.
Yeah. I'm fortunate to live close to two.
You guys are doing something right.
Yeah, they're flying. Hey, it's a problem if Series 1 is peg warmers. Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah.
They're literally, you can't keep these things on the shelves, and I think that proves how great AEW is, how great these figures are. So I think you should do a little Barry Horowitz to yourself, because you're doing a great job, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's the whole team, really. The whole team's really so helpful, and everyone's so dedicated to this line. Jeremy in particular has been such a champion for this, to get these as great as possible. So honestly, big shout out to him for bringing these out as best as possible and wanting to do it big.
We'll tell everyone on the Zoom call tomorrow that the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast said they're incredible, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing, man. And we're in for the ride. So thank you so much for your time tonight and filling us in on a bunch of stuff that's going on with Jazwares, man. All the best.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Awesome.